Hi, everybody. So I want to talk a minute about practical magic. Practical magic is something that I use in my everyday life, day in and day out, minute in, minute out, second in, second out, all day, every day. Um, it's a way that I choose to worship and connect with life as it is, not only from a subjective point of view with the things in the world that are as they are, sort of outside of myself, but from an objective point of view, meaning how I handle and manage and use my inner landscape and the tools that I have, like my creativity and my imagination and my vision and my clarity and my dreams and my desires and my beliefs and my thoughts and my emotions, and how I use all those things to create practices in my outer life to work magic. And that can happen in a number of ways. It can happen while I'm cooking, while I'm showering, while I'm running, while I'm gardening, while I'm driving. It can happen while you're doing anything. It just comes from understanding that there's more to life than just the subjective. We are not powerless we are co-creators. So while I believe in a power greater than myself, and I do believe in the power of prayer and all of that, the foundation of my practice is that I can manifest for myself anything and everything as long as I'm using the tools that I have within my inner landscape. So what that would look like for me, that people may think is, voodoo or woo-woo or whatever we want to call it. Let's just say that I am making soup. Let's say that I have made a nice broth, and in that broth I either have bones, or if you're a vegan, you have sea vegetables or whatever. Say you have your broth, and your broth is simmering away on the stove, and the water and the heat, are extracting the nutrients from the things that are in your water, and the heat, and the alchemy that's happening. And say then we have some colorful vegetables on the counter, and we're peeling and we're processing these vegetables, and we're touching them, and we're really paying attention to the colors and the textures and the patterns and the life that lives within these vegetables, the characteristics, the vitality that lives in these vegetables. And we're having that connection, and it's opening up gradually. And as we cut the vegetables and we put them in the broth and we stir, sort of like the witch in her cauldron. And I prefer to use wooden spoons because for whatever reason it just keeps the whole for me it's a sexier process using a nice wooden beautiful spoon. But so say we're doing that and we're making our soup and it's bubbling. While I'm doing these things, not only am I deeply grateful and deeply connected to the beauty, just the mere beauty of the vegetables that are going in to my soup make me weep a little bit, because I just have such gratitude for the beauty, the inherent beauty that lives in these vegetables. But the process of creating something that once it goes into my body, not only the subjective qualities of that soup, the vitamins and the nutrients and the minerals and the fiber and the collagen if you're using the broth from the bones, but the objective, the energy that was transferred between myself and the soup and myself as the process was happening. So is that love? Is that intention of healing? Is that gratitude? Is that fortitude that with this earth I will create something to nourish myself and my family because I will survive? Is it all of the things? Is it to me, it's connection. So what it is for me is whatever that practice is, whether it be cooking soup or taking a shower or taking a walk or digging some dirt, whatever it is, the process of using my inner gifts, what that be my imagination, because my creativity and imagination can imagine myself infusing this soup or extracting from the process of the soup all of the things that I may want or need in that moment. As I'm having this relationship with the soup, a channel opens up. The channel that opens up is the channel that leads right through the center of my being and out from every single cellular nook and cranny of my being. And as the opening happens, the soft center of myself, that little tiny glimmer of the soft center of everything, which is the divine, whatever you want to call it, is able to wash through me, through all those nooks and crannies. Like if you put butter in an English muffin and it fills it all up, the same thing happens. So the process and the practice of connecting opens up the channels, and as the channels open, I'm then filled with light. The soft center is the light. So as I'm filled with light, I am then radiating light. I am healing. I am healing from the connection before I even put the soup in my mouth. So that can happen with every single thing I do. That can happen with every single step that I take. If I imagine myself, if every single step that I'm taking onto the earth, if I'm mindful and say I'm stepping onto the earth, and the electromagnetic field and pulses of my feet against the earth are creating energy up through my body, they're rumbling up through my body, and they're bringing life and energy, and they're sustaining me. And say you can do it however you want, but just the process of walking can open up that channel. And again, within we become flooded. We become flooded with the light. And as I believe, our own soft center, our own light, that is the same as the soft center of anything, whether it be the earth or the universe or whatever. We all have the same soft center, and we're all reflecting back to each other and everything exactly what is happening at that moment. So my reality will then be, as I open and become filled with the light of my soft center, so then will be the earth and the stars and you and my dog and the planets and the trees, because as within, so without, and as above, so below. So my only duty as a human being and as a bearer of a soft center of light is to mindfully connect with each and every practice that I have in my day or in my week or in my moment, to be able to be filled with that which I seek to see. So it may, if I use the word magic, if I use the word craft, if I use the word ritual, if I use the word worship, it all means the same thing. The end is the same. The end is, and the goal is always the same. The goal is to open and connect and to help feed that which needs to be fed, which is everything around us is looking to be fed light, because that's what gives us the vitality of living. That's what makes us. That's what makes us. That's what makes us. So as I continue on with my programs, and I invite you to join me for the book clubs and for the other practices that I'm going to be having and holding and sharing. That's what it's about. I will be sharing the different things that I do and the different ways and processes that I have to really practically just open and connect. And it might be cooking, and it might not. It might be eating a cookie, because God knows, I talk a lot about how I love to eat cookies and I love to do stuff. I love to do stuff that's probably not all that good for me. But for fuck's sake, do it and connect while you're doing it, because it's the disconnect that makes us sick anyway. So, I invite you to join me, and I hope everyone, as we move forward, is not scared away by the crazy words that I might use that may otherwise have led you to believe that I was a witch and needed to be burned at stake. So thanks for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in my group. Thank you. Bye-bye.